Welcome to the final day of the regular season play here at the North American Challenger Series. Cloud9 Challenger and Nova have already secured their place in the playoffs, but 2 spots are still up for grabs. Hello, everyone. I am Dominic Romer, and tonight we've got a new moon. It's Sam Kobe Hartman Kensler.
New moon?
Yeah.
Not moon-related at all. Is that some Twilight reference or something, Dom?
You're not Aiden. I think it's the important distinction.
That is important.
We're getting there. We're getting there. But on the other side, we've got Tom. Don't call me Optimus Tom Searfoss.
At least you get called something.
He's also not Aiden.
Yes, he is also not Aiden. Another important thing. It's do or die time for those teams still and a hunt for a place in the postseason. So let's start it off with a look at the standings. Starting at the top of the table is Cloud9 Challenger and Nova with 1 point back in second place. Now, they're guaranteed a semifinal berth, but the seeding is still up in the air, and that can be decided by tonight's games. Then, vying for the last 2 spots are Team Liquid Academy in third, and Apex and Dream Team tied in 4th place. Eliminated from contention for the postseason, however, is Enix, who are sitting in 6th place. Now, Enix aside, it's been an incredibly competitive split, and it's still a wide open race for those 3 teams chasing the 2 remaining spots in the postseason.
Yeah, that's why I'm here. Super excited to get a look at Challenger, as the picture for playoffs does crystallize, and we get to see who's actually going to be there. Now, one of the first teams I want to look at is Team Liquid Academy. Piglet's moving down here, so I would assume they're doing well. How's it going down here, guys?
Well, you would think so. Team Liquid Academy definitely started out really strong, and they split 1-1 against Cloud9 Challenger, and since Piglet's come in, they've definitely undergone a bit of a transformation based off of his more aggressive play style, sometimes a little bit to a fault. Against Dream Team, they wound up splitting the series 1-1 last week because Piglet, he thought Lucian only went one direction, which was in, and Team Liquid Academy did follow up on his initiations. They won the first game, and they were able to kind of stay a little bit close and competitive for the second game until Dream Team kind of took it over. Piglet himself has been looking a lot more comfortable, though, and the team atmosphere just looks like it's following suit with that. He's played 3 games of Lucian, 1 game of Ezreal, a lot of outplay potential in those picks, and a lot of mechanical skill being put into those, and the team just kind of seems to be meshing very well when they're following after him.
Yeah, Piglet's done a great job for the leadership of the team. We've really seen them crystallize from a team with high potential to a team with high performance with Piglet helping them out. So
all right,
we're hoping that veteran leadership is going to put them in a good spot heading towards that postseason.
I do like to see me some aggressive AD carry moves. Another team with some veterans on it is Apex. I would assume that these are also doing pretty well. Diamond Prox, this man is a legend, especially among junglers. What's up with the Apex crew so far?
Well, I feel like I'm raining on your parade with all of these. But
I'm all hyped up. Yeah, Diamond, woo, shifter.
Diamond definitely proved to be a force that Apex could rally themselves behind last week, but the main story of Apex in the beginning of the Challenger split was their macro play wasn't up to par. They were very much a win lane, win game kind of team, but against last week, they wound up coming in and they were able to pick up a win against Cloud9 Challenger, a lot of it coming through Diamond Prox in the jungle, kind of abusing contracts, being a little over-aggressive, but altogether, everybody on the team took a very long time to kind of warm up into this one. Diamond Prox stepped up last week. Roar was the week before that. The one person we really haven't seen kind of coming into his own so far this split has been Shifter. So there's still a couple of questions on him. He's played some of the assassins like Zed. Hasn't had the best performances on them. But Apex Pride, they're still in the hunt for the playoffs. So we'll see if they can get it.
Yeah, it's definitely been a really cold start for Apex as a team. When they're off, you can tell that they're really off. But when they're on, that's when they really come to life. And it's like, oh, this team of veterans, this is what they were supposed to do. This is what they've been trying to do. And now it's week 5. Their playoff spot is on the line. So
yes, it is.
Let's hope that spot is going to be claimed by them.
The team trying to take it from them is Dream Team. Now, this is one of the newer teams. Talk to me a little bit about what Dream Team are trying to do this season, because last season, I know spring, they were so disappointed. They got really close but couldn't get there.
Well, this is one where you get to be happy about what Dream Team is doing. I don't have to rain on your parade here, but Dream Team has been one of the Challenger Series teams that have had really good map play. They know how to use the teleport to bait Barons. They know how to use that for their split push accomplishments. They also have very good early game and a lot of lane swap potential coming out from the team. So their map movements have really been above what we expect coming from some of the teams in the Challenger Series.
Yeah, so far Dream Team has only had one single 0-2 defeat, and that was against Cloud9 Challenger when they came in and looked the strongest. Against all of the other teams, they've split, and they even went 2-0. I believe it was against Enix. So they show that they can still take games off of these enemy teams, even when they end up losing a game. They're actually surviving pretty well in this best-of-2 series.
Yeah, and they seem to just be a team that's gelling together extremely well. Like, everybody involved in the roster seems like they're on the same page with each other, even when they don't necessarily win games. It's not because they're falling apart at the macro level. It's just because of their decision-making or where they are on the map at that point in time as a team isn't exactly where they should be.
Yeah, we spoke to Acadian a little bit about how important it would be to him to make it into the LCS, and really playing in the playoffs is a super important first step. He's one win away. If he can 2-0 this, I'm pretty sure he clutches it. But again, it's right up to the finish line once again to see if he can make it.
Yeah, that's going to make our last match of the night super exciting because it is going to be Dream Team versus Apex, and that's going to put him to the test.
Yeah, it certainly is. Now, one player that had a huge impact for his team and helped Nova end their week 2-0 last week and book their place in the semis is FLICKR. He's actually going to take our week 4 MVP honors for his performance.
Yeah, and one of the big things that he did was kind of shore up what Nova kind of struggled with in the early game, which was doing things and getting an advantage out of it and not giving up trades for it. Teleport down to the bottom lane for first blood on Rumble, ran away with that game, and then in game number 2, it ejects things.
Yeah.
And they won the donut pretty good.
Good
Whack,
old-fashioned.
whack.
Yeah, exactly. Just whacking away on that Nexus. But we'll see which player steps up for his team today as we close out the summer split. That means that Enix will be challenging Team Liquid Academy, followed by Dream Team versus Apex Pride. Now, we're starting the day with our marquee matchup, Cloud9 Challenger versus Nova. And as we've mentioned, both of these teams are heading into the semifinals. They've already got that playoff berth. The seeding is still up in the air with some pretty tough competitors waiting in the wings. This could be a pretty important match for these teams.
Yeah, I mean, Cloud9 Challenger, these are guys I'm used to seeing play in the LCS.
Exactly.
You know, Balls is still there, High's leading the crew. I have heard rumors about, how they got overconfident, though. Yes, they are definitely still in first place, and they're holding that spot, guaranteed to go to playoffs. How worried are you about the overconfidence part and the lax play, maybe?
I don't think I'd be all too worried about it. I still think Cloud9 Challenger, well, obviously they're shooing for playoffs, and going up against Nova, they have a lot of advantages over the team. Nova in general has been unable to change some of their early game advantages into late game performance. They shored up some of those against Enix last week, but Cloud9 Challenger is a whole different story. The big one I'm going to be looking at, though, is kind of the difference in the top lane. We have FLICKR going up against Balls, and Balls being an LCS veteran, you'd expect him to kind of have the edge in this matchup. FLICKR got MVP last week. He's been putting up some strong performances. Balls actually has the lowest kill participation in the entire Challenger series. So he's not exactly joining up with the rest of the team, not making the same kind of teleport plays he was when he was in the LCS. So if there is a single weakness on Cloud9 Challenger that Nova may be able to exploit, it's probably going to come from that matchup.
We'll keep our eye on that for you.
We certainly shall. But it's about time to get into Champion Select. So, Tom, I'm afraid we're going to have to give you the boot one last time.
That's fine. I got to go catch them all anyway.
One last time?
Okay.
You don't like this?
Wait, I'm not coming back? This is the final boot?
For the last day,
voted off?
last day. We're going to find out. But on the blue side, it's Cloud9 Challenger. In the top, Balls. In the jungle, Contracts. In the mid lane, High. AD carry, Altec, and support, Lemonation.
And on the red side, it's Nova. Up top is FLICKR. In the jungle, Ku. Mid, a Blaze Olive. AD carry, Rikara. And support, Trance.
Yeah, so the pressure is on for Nova. I mean, they've made it into playoffs. They've at least got that safety net, but Cloud9 Challenger is the team that they'll eventually have to go up against or even beat if they want to make it into the LCS. So, yes, they've made it into playoffs. Next step, keep moving forward.
Plus, this is the time of the season where people start to come scout in Challenger Series. And people from the LCS are starting to look for substitute possibilities or, try and strategize against the teams that they might have
eventually, to play. Maybe. We'll see, as of course it is still going to be determined by today's games. Now, we have entered into Champion Select. Cloud9 Challenger on your screen, taking on Nova. Azir banned away from a Blaze Olive. No surprise to see that. He did exceptional on that.
More teamfight centric here for a Blaze Olive. Vladimir, this is, by the way, 6.13. So Vladimir has been nerfed. Another one of the go-tos for him. Might actually get through here because those nerfs were pretty significant. So, never mind.
Yeah,
going to find his way onto the ban list anyways.
Well, those were the two champions that earned him MVP, and I believe it was week 1 or week 2. So very high impact, very high damage, very confident laning phase. Now Ryze and Karma banned away from Cloud9 Challenger. We've seen high play Karma a few times.
Full mid lane focus here from Cloud9. Definitely targeting the rookie here, Ablaze Olive. I heard he's been doing really well for himself, made a big name in the Challenger Series.
Yeah, he's been putting out some really big numbers, but Contracts, the new jungler for Cloud9 Challenger, going to be taking that Rek'Sai for first pick. They don't want a chance and give it over to Ku on the far side. That should open up quite a bit for them.
Oh yeah, Contracts, there's been so much talk about this guy because he started playing League when he was so young, yet he's really talented, so all the LCS teams are just kind of waiting until he comes of age, basically, and they're able to get him onto an LCS team. So this guy, you may see a lot more from this guy in the future as well. See what he can do on the Rec side. This is definitely the premier jungle champion right now. Definitely setting him up for success with that first pick. Olaf is very good into Rec side, though. You know, both Ranover and Dardoch, you know, have dabbled in the champion as well. So we'll see what Ku can do with it. Definitely like to add some extra speed with the Olaf. Karma has already been banned out, so maybe a Sivir is in the works for these guys.
Oh, but Balls taking that Rumble, calling Flaxish out a little bit. Hey, if you can get playoffs.
This is perfect. I'm right back at home. Balls Rumble. We're going back to Season 3 here. First season of the LCS. Let's see what he can do with it. The legendary Balls Ultimates. Maybe they will have some early Drake fights that they can line those up in the corridor. Cloud9, though, they look like they have a lot of early control already. Rek'Sai and Rumble are really good partners because Rek'Sai can get the early global, a lot of map mobility, and then Rumble can come in with a huge ultimate for team fights.
And that's without High, the roaming mid laner, who's been supporting bottom, supporting Contracts. Really, High has been the heartbeat for the team by
Twisted Fate has gotten through the ban phase, so maybe we see him pick one of those up.
Yeah, safe pick from Ablaze Olive, opting for the Victor, but that is going to be Aurelia locked in for Flaxish. Aurelia into Rumble.
Oh man, this team is just setting up for speed. I mean, if you have Olaf and Aurelia, Sivir is go forth and destroy them, my friends. Also, Sivir really does help out with dodging Rumble ultimate. Since they made the change where most of the damage comes over time rather than on impact, which was years ago, I'm dating myself, but it's so beneficial to have that extra mobility. Plus, they already have Braum, you know, for that semi-disengage. So Sivir would be a really nice last pick for them. See if Cloud9, you know, think about taking it away. There are plenty of other options, though. You know, an Ashe as well will work in case Sivir is taken away. You get that engaged with the arrow. You don't need to speed up those guys because, you know, Olaf and Aurelia can handle it themselves.
Yeah, that's something Cloud9 have always been comfortable with, playing the map, saying, all right, you guys want a hard engage on us? Well, we'll just deny it by taking the Sivir instead of going for that Ashe. But Kennen locked in.
Ooh, yes. So the Kennen mid, I'm suspecting for High because High loves playing Kennen. We'll have to see how he does in the mid lane, though, versus Victor. Because this is a super interesting matchup since Kennen's poke is mostly blocked by minions, and Victor can just laser right through. Plus, you get a lot of wave control that way. So I'm very curious to see how High is going to play that mid lane matchup. Might actually focus there instead of the top lane.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, so the Sivir takeaway, you know, was kind of the first step I was hypothesizing, but the Ashe would be what I would think they would go with after that. Only problem is then, now the Ashe is the one who has to face a Kennen and Rumble, huge amounts of zone control, and the other team is the one with the Sivir. So you have to worry about getting bum rush there in a more defensive mindset, and they do go with the more defensive mindset. Ezreal, going to be a lot safer. They're just going to let the Olaf and Aurelia handle their engagement themselves. No extra help from the AD carry.
So we've seen Ricaro play Ezreal before, and he likes to play it very defensive, stay back, and let his team spoon feed him kills. It seems like this.
I like that too. That's like a good play style.
Similar matchup. It worked in the past. We'll see if Cloud9 will be the team that can shut that down and actually prevent the spoon feeding from those kills.
Yeah. You know, double AP, that's always something they have to watch out for as well. Olaf's not really a jungle champion that wants to build for the team. He's a very selfish jungler. You'd like to build up your own stats rather than try and spread that around with magic resistance aura, but that might be really important to get that early magic resistance aura. Probably it's going to fall to Braum, though, and that means that it will be delayed.
We've seen those sorts of mistakes before, but we're loading into game right now. Go ahead and tweet at LL Esports with hashtag C9C win or hashtag NVA win. As we load onto the Rift, we'll tally these votes and give us a good old counter as we get ready. Cloud9 Challenger, currently first place in the league. looking to secure for that first place spot in playoff.
And Nova, number 2 in the league. Here we
Yep.
go. Battle between the top of Challenger. The best that North American Challenger has to offer at the moment.
As of now. Well, we'll find out as we get ready for playoffs. It really has been one of the most competitive splits in the Challenger Series so far.
Yeah, definitely awesome to see. And remember, though, as Reginald said, just last week in the interview he had on the LCS, it's all about playoffs, though. It's not about the regular split. It's not about the regular season game. So while these are the two topping the charts right now, very well could make room for one of the other teams that we will see later in the night.
We'll certainly have to see if that is the case, as High opening up with a Dark Seal. Walks out into lane, gets some early harass.
Taking the Kennen pick mid, Dark Seal. He's just like, I'm going to style on you guys. Get an early mid-jive, maybe. Start stacking up. I'm curious to see how he is going to play this, because maybe Contracts comes pretty early. Even so, though, Victor is very capable of playing just extremely defensively.
That is kind of the safety in the pick. As you said, just being able to sit back behind the minions and drop lasers as far back as possible to clear those out and keep yourself safe in lane. So Nova seems like they're going to try to deny that, though, by opting into a lane swap. Cloud9 match it, sending their duo to the top side. So we are getting double lane swap matched up, and those junglers could very well roam around.
Yeah, that could happen. Plus, face checking is very dangerous against the Braum Ezreal. They can stack up the Braum passive extremely quickly, so we'll have to hold our breath. But as of right now, though, they've abandoned the brush, and face check would be much less punished. Not even going to happen, though, as Cloud9 play it safe, wait for the minions to arrive, and gain control of the minion wave. That is paramount in the Sivir lanes. Early teleport here from FLICKR, and that will mean that Cloud9 do have a slight advantage, as Balls should be able to play aggressively and then teleport back to lane if he needs.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out. You can see Balls even opting for an early boots first, so going to be able to heal up quite a bit with those 4 health potions if he should take any harass from FLICKR. Whereas FLICKR has decided to go for the Doran's Blade.
Yes, sir. More offensive. A lot of the times we do see Aurelia's get an early corruption potion, but won't be able to get one of those easy backs. Ku on the Olaf, getting low in the jungle so he can get extra attack speed from his passive. It's been spotted by Contracts, though. The invades start early.
Oh, Contract sneaking over the wall. Is he going to be able to
Oh, 80!
Oh, it's picked up by Ku. Flash, but Contract wants that first blood, and he gets it.
I like it. Early jungle action. Contracts nails the Prey Seeker and takes down Olaf. This is something that we keep on prepping whenever you're against the jungle Olaf. They like to get low in the jungle so they can clear it quicker due to the extra attack speed, but very punishable. Contracts gets in there, and he actually converts on the kill. Very big lead here for Cloud9. Coming out of the gate strong.
Yeah, FLICKR even taking some big damage as he tries to trade back with Balls and turns it around. Solo kill.
Well, that's going to put a halt a little bit to the momentum, but
yeah,
Cloud9 still do have the advantage. Balls was shoving up the lane, so at least he doesn't lose out on minions in that death. Honestly, you'd always like to avoid giving up the 1 versus 1
Wait,
kill.
Contracts is pinging. He wants revenge for this as Balls teleports back in, trying to get the minions under the turret. But they're caster minions.
Yeah, Aurelia definitely low, sitting just barely above that 300 mark. We'll see if they actually decide to go for the kill.
Here they
Flash
go.
still available for Balls, but not Contracts.
Oh, he takes some damage. Balls is going to be kiting it out as he takes turret aggro. Dashes back to the minions and gets out.
Great maneuver there to stay alive. Didn't even get close to killing him. Cloud9, though, still sticking around.
Yeah, very impressive ability to avoid that gank and walk away with a quick 300 gold towards himself.
I can see why Tom wanted to focus on that top lane for FLICKR because that was honestly a great outplay to get them back in the game. Not only did he get the 1 versus 1 outplay, but he also avoids the gank. He gave his team awareness where Contracts was. That allowed for the blue steal. This is allowing Ku to get back in the game on Olaf. Now he's got the blue buff. He can continuously heal. It feels so good to get that blue on Olaf after the disaster that happened in the early game.
Able to recover himself just a little bit. Ignite tossed out by High. Oh, is he going to chase this? He's going to level up and flash for Blaze Olive. Means he stays
Kennen
alive.
mid, baby.
Woo!
High pressure, mid lane style here. Does get the flash. However, Victor, does run the double utility summer spells or double mobility here and is going to have Ghost to try and avoid any further ganks. But we'll see if there is that return because High is approaching level 6 on the Kennen.
Yeah.
The stun is much more reliable now. That's why people thought there was going to be a return to pro play for Kennen. With the Mage's mid-season update, Kennen was changed a significant amount and got some good buffs. More reliability on the stun and a little bit of extra damage as well, but hasn't shown himself so far in pro play. Very happy to see High pick him up.
And with the Ignite, too, he's really looking to style and pick up some kills as the junglers intersect once again. Contracts, he's got tunnels littering that side of the jungle. Merc Treads are going to do quite a bit to soak some of that dash's damage from the undertow and deny the slow. This blue buff actually hasn't even been cleared out yet. So that's going to be a long time before that comes back.
Yeah, it's actually funny. There's a couple of schools of thought. Like, if you actually get super far ahead, then you want to clear it because you can just keep invading and that blue buff becomes your blue buff. But Contrast is going to keep that small minion there so it doesn't respawn because they don't really have that strong foothold in the bottom side because of the solo kill that Ball suffered early on, and they just want to delay the respawns on that blue. Deny Victor blue, and it does help out with the constant wave clear he can apply. Up top, though, here we go.
Oh, stun stacked on the Lemonation. He flashes and heals. He's able to escape for now. The undertow is not enough.
Just barely, and the gank and teleport will be unsuccessful. So once again, Flaxish, no teleport for the lane phase, and Balls will get his much quicker, plus that level 6 Rumble ultimate, and you've been waiting for, is ready, and see if they get an opportunity to use it, because he's constantly shoving in, and Flaxish actually doing a good job CSing here under turret.
Yeah, so Flaxish feeling pretty safe for now, despite all of the constant aggression from Contracts. He knows he's got some help from Ku. He's got some help from a Blaze Olive if anything should happen, because they do have plenty of wards on that side of the map now. Contracts roaming around. Going to give a brief visit towards the mid lane, but a Blaze Olive, after that initial trade with High, has sat and fallen back under his turret just to try to catch these minions. Doesn't want to try risking it.
Yeah, playing very cautiously without Flash because of the threat of the all-in. Rek'Sai has Flash, so the Flash unburrow into full Kennen stuns. Definitely dangerous for him. Good job playing defensively. You know, Cloud9, you can also see the warding they're putting into this on the bottom side of the map, even getting a little deep there into the jungle.
Ooh, Flaxish gets a very favorable trade with Balls. I feel like that's not the first time we've seen that, and something tells me it's not going to be the last.
Yeah, definitely could be threatening bottom lane here. Aurelia off to an early Trinity Force could cause problems for Cloud9. Ball's going to try and wave clear there with the ultimates. And get back to lane by walking. If he can save his teleport, that's what they want to do, so he can make a cross-map play.
Oh, but they're diving into the
And
mid
there it
lane.
is!
A Blaze Olive gets CC stacked and goes down. Ku is going to try to follow up on the Contracts, who takes way too many turret hits.
Yeah, that extra turret shot meant that he could just all in for it. You can't stop Olaf, and they do pay it back. That's exactly why a Blaze Olive was playing so cautiously. Turns out, though, Cloud9 don't care. Go for the dive, and they're still going to get an advantage because it's kind of hard for Olaf to CS here. So even though it's a 1-for-1 kill trade, and both of them were assisted, High gets to deny a few minions, and look at that. See, that's the stun combo we were talking about. Good return kill here, though, and that extra turret shot meant the difference. Ku able to answer back, so pretty good for them, not falling too far behind. They're still in this, even though if you look at the map, so much control for Cloud9. The warding lines are all moving up very aggressively. Contracts can continue to try and keep track of Ku in the jungle on his Rek'Sai. He's got the Sightstone now, so they can go in knowing that they have this first line of wards, knowing that they have this safety to place much deeper wards as well. Whoop. That little...
Spotted out.
They finally got it. All right, Blue's going to come back up again.
Yeah. But that sort of has been the bigger question for Cloud9 Challenger. We know that they're a talented team. It just seems at times they don't play at 100%. And at this game, it looks like They're firing at least 75%.
All right, I like it.
They're definitely, it seems like they're definitely playing at a much higher level than what we've seen over the past few weeks.
All right.
Which is concerning for Nova because they need to try to bring them down.
True enough. Going to be a difficult task. You know, High is already off to the proto belt on Kennen. So even though his flash is down right now, still has a little bit of extra mobility. Plus, the damage the proto belt puts out is often underestimated. Contracts gets caught out, though.
Ooh, Tidal Wave misses, and he makes it out of the gravity field. Despite all of those ultimates and summoners, Contracts escapes.
Yep, Summoner Spell burned as well for the mid laner. Altec going to claim the top turret during that engage, and Cloud9 also jump out to the first turret lead here, finally really cementing that gold lead for themselves. High goes aggressive.
Whoa, 1v2, but it turns into a 2v2. There's a lot of damage with the Slicing Maelstrom. Ken is going to drop some back onto Contracts.
Can he hit the Prey Seeker?
Oh,
Gonna
Blaze
take more
Olive.
than one.
He's trying to body block it, but Contracts is able to get the kill, and a Blaze Olive flashes the wall.
I like that. You know, he's actually displaying some accuracy here on Rek'Sai, which usually people are like, yeah, it's a fairly simple champion, but the Prey Seekers from Contracts have been accurate, and they've awarded him both of his kills, chasing both Ku and Ken down.
Yep. Trying to secure those kills. Here's that fight once again.
Yeah, you think you're ganking the mid laner, but High dives right in with the proto belt. They do get the exhaust off, but it only exhausts the ultimate. Full burst was dealt up front there from High and did enough. Blaze Olive there, gets out of the way actually, doesn't block. And that's why Braum was able to be shot. See what Cloud9 can do with this though. Slowly gaining momentum. Now they're focusing on the bottom side. They actually have Contracts invading at the same time Lemon roams here.
Trying to put some pressure, continue to try to bully that Aurelia out and deny some CS. Contracts has practically been living in that side of the jungle whenever he's not roaming and ganking for the rest of his team.
Yep, set up camp up in the blue quadrant here. See how long he can stay there though. Nova trying to strike back. Should look like Altec can clear out this wave though. And Contracts gets right back onto the field to try and defend their blue.
Yeah, trying to steal it away, but will not be successful as Cloud9 Challenger defend. Contracts does not have his smite, though, and Ku does.
Ku's caught in enemy territory, though.
Fight. Yeah, Ku takes some big damage. He's able to Ragnarok and roll to safety as High catches up. There's the Proto Belt. Ken gets left behind, and another kill for Cloud9.
Uh-oh, Ken's there. Oh, now look who's getting caught, though. Flaxus!
Yeah, coming in from behind with the teleport. He's able to get one kill on the elimination, but goes down in return. Not sure if worth. There's the equalizer, finding 3. Flash knock-up, and a Blaze Olive goes down. Cloud9 just ace Nova 13 minutes in.
The collapse here as Balls walks all the way up to the fight, and they're able to clean it up with the red carpet. Contract's going to steal away the red buff as well after. Pretty clean sweep here, and now we actually have our first really big swing in the game as Cloud9 jump out to a pretty substantial lead. All started with Ku here, deep in enemy territory. They knew he was there, and he had also seen the rest of Cloud9. So very aggressive from Nova to actually make that call, and Ken getting caught out once again as the straggler does end up costing them a lot. Exhaust here for Aurelia is the best counter. Lemon, even though he ends up going down, his sacrifice was worthy. Here comes Balls for the cleanup, as you know, and the double knock-up flash there from Contracts allows them to clean it.
Yeah, so very comfortable fight for Cloud9 Challenger. Gives them quite a hefty lead, about 4,000 gold, 14 minutes in. And this is the Cloud9 Challenger that teams were afraid of in the flesh.
Yeah, I'd be afraid. High here on the Kennen. Making a great showing for himself. Going aggressive once again. Does get punished a little bit this time because there is a double roam of supports. Doesn't go all in. See what, this has been Nova's best point though. It's Flaxus on this Aurelia in the bottom side. He hasn't been able to convert for the rest of the team though, and now he's feeling the pain as Cloud9 as a team have really taken control. It's just too much for one man to fight against.
Yeah. Oh! High again! Holy cow! I see now why Zyrene was so excited about Kennen.
The smallest of ninjas, but definitely not the the weakest of ninjas there. High, all in with the proto belt, plus he's level 11. Such a huge amount of burst.
He's
And
like
we
the
see
Yoda.
there, finally, yes, the mage rework. He was one of the mages that was only touched a slight amount, but the buff just looks so good, right? You know, the consistency on the ultimate as far as procs to go for the stuns, more damage as well, and High really showing what the little Yordle can pack.
Yeah. Enormous damage with only the Proto Belt Dark Seal, which is...
I mean, it's at 9 stacks now.
Yeah, it's stacked up to 9. Finally, the first Drake is going to be started. High actually tries to turn it back around. He doesn't have Flash or an ultimate.
He's toast.
They're trying to chase him around. Equalizer means that Cloud9 want to fight this. Nova are running away, and they successfily split. Cloud9 can't make up the line. Ken, though, gets left behind. Executioner Ken gets executed.
Unlucky
by
for
Cloud9.
Ken. Never lucky for him, but
Yeah.
they do kill High. They took down the Kennen. Mission accomplished for Nova. Able to get that shutdown money, much needed. It is only a 3-kill shutdown, so not that much, but that's definitely a big morale boost, especially for a Blaze Olive in the mid lane.
Moral win. 0-3, currently 20 CS down. He's having a really difficult time keeping up with High.
Yeah.
He's turned it up to 11. So earlier I was saying,
Turned it back down to 6, though, as he lost some stacks on his Dark Seal.
I guess you're right. Yeah, that does stack up until 10. But Cloud9 has said maybe they're running at 75%. This is looking more and more like 100%.
All right, well, this is the whole team. All ultimates burned. Now you know over comms. High is just yelling at them. Kill these fools! They all used all their ultimates on me! Kill them all! They only get one, though. And Cloud9, that is going to be enough for them to regain control of the map. So all lanes really pushing up for Cloud9, and it looks like they're just going to try and starve Nova once again.
Yeah.
Make sure they don't get any more of the jungle and close them off in their own territory.
That really seems like the style that Cloud9 want to play right now is make sure that Nova have the least amount of fun possible. Steal their camps, push them away from minions, deny as much as you can to get a big advantage.
Next step in that, taking down the Aurelia. Balls now has a level advantage, and he's going up there with all the flat penetration. High as well, it looks like, is going to help him out.
Oh my gosh. Going for the Rylai's on that.
Ooh, High does not complete the roam up top, and looks like Balls will be on his own. The double AP, though, from Cloud9 is in full effect. They have the double proto belts. There's not much magic resist completed yet on Team Nova. They definitely don't have their magic resistance aura ready. Brahm's actually not even going to build it.
Yeah.
It looks like Ku possibly could. Yeah, he has the pieces.
He has a single null magic mantle and a ruby crystal.
I mean, those are both pieces of it, so
I mean, those are also pieces with Spirit Visit.
we'll see what he decides to go with, because
Or a Banshees.
even with a fully completed Locket, I feel like the double AP of Cloud9 AoE right now would probably still destroy Team Nova, but you got to try. You got to build it. See if he goes for, the more selfish build, or if he tries to go team-oriented.
Nova currently trying to defend their tier 2, but High roaming in the wings. He's going to be spotted out by not 1, but 2 wards. So they know he's there. And Nova trying to play away from that as 4 members of Cloud9 look to break this. Here comes a Blaze Olive. He's finally going to be able to help clear up with some of these minions.
Yep, once Victor arrives, it makes it a lot more difficult to continue the siege. They do a bit of a zoning ultimate there from Lemonation. 3 points down the middle.
Split the team, 3 points.
Contracts. See if he actually gets away with this, because the rest of the team is left. This is him.
Oh,
little early on that smite there, buddy.
Missed it by that much.
How much was that much? I'm going to go with 7 HP.
It was pretty close. Not currently in the game on my spectator client, so we can't double check quite yet. But 19 minutes into the game, 7,000 gold. Cloud9 have been putting pressure in all 3
there it is!
lanes.
Aegis of the Legion! I spy! Aegis of the Legion,
Hey,
Dom.
it's finished.
They did build it on Ken. They did have the support go for it, as expected. So the Olaf is free to build, Spirit Visage, or it's just going to be Spirit Visage.
Yeah.
That's so much better on Olaf. Banshees is great, but not good against Kennen and Rumble. It's much better against people who are going to have more high-impact single target spells. And Spirit Visage also helps out with Olaf's Vicious Strike. So we'll see him try and get to that to get Nova back into this game. But right now, they've got a big hole to dig out of.
Oh, yeah. They've got their work cut out for them. So we just heard back from the control room that Wolf was at 4 HP.
I overshot even.
And he
4 HP.
missed it.
Unlucky there for Contracts. Just a little slow on the Sunfire burn. Even would have helped out.
Yeah, so not quite.
Or the Cinder Hulk.
But that's a very small moral victory. Yes, you get the Wolf, but Contracts is still living inside of your jungle, and now they're actually going to try to punish him. He's taking a lot of damage. Here comes the rest of the team trying to collapse. Contracts turns it around. There's a True Shot Barrage. Tidal Wave misses. Knockup finds 2. Highs over the wall.
Ken.
Oh, he can't quite make up his mind. Blue buff is being stolen away. They collapse onto Ken.
I mean, he's there by himself. The flanking Braum.
Whoa,
the legendary.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know how he got that far into the back line, but he gets a kill. Now they've caught up to a Blaze Olive. There's the bubble on top of the enormous damage that Cloud9 deliver. That's a quick 3 kills.
Yep, and even though the Fearless Leader goes down for Cloud9, they take the turret. Objective focus in the end. 3 for 1 for Cloud. Oh, what?
Whoa,
They're going to get a free kill here? Yes, sir.
Managing to chase down FLICKR. He just wanted to kill, man.
Yeah, well, you don't always get what you want, Dom. Especially if you want to kill 1 versus 4. Low chances.
Yeah.
Cloud9 deny him, and Contracts gets the Wolf in the end. All right. This was a bit of a tug of war, I guess, or the opposite of that, as junglers both go running away. And Ken with the one-man flank here. He thought he had a Blaze Olive behind him, but the Blaze Olive bails, and there's no escape for him.
Yeah.
Nobody to jump to. Balls came in to come off. High also was on a one-man mission. His mission, though, at least it ended with him getting an assassination before going down. That turned the numbers in Cloud9 favor. Plus, they have plenty of gold and experience advantage with which to destroy the rest of Nova.
It was a little bit reckless, but he did get the kill. So I'm pretty sure that qualifies as worth.
Yeah. The thing is, when you're running a stacking mechanic like the Dark Seal, it's not worth to go for 1-for-1 trades.
Oh, yeah.
But he actually doesn't care about that at all. As you can see by the playstyle and him not also upgrading it to Medjai's, he's probably just going to sell off the Seal later to complete Abyssal.
Yep. Doesn't even have any potions or corrupting potions anymore, so he's not even getting the benefit from the passive. So we'll keep an eye on High's build to see how he decides to transition this as Cloud9 move all of their vision towards that top side of the map and clear out around the Baron. Now, Mountain Drake has spawned, but seems like Cloud9 have got their sights set on the Baron.
Eyes on the big prize here. Lemonation actually dangerous to go for that ward kill, but he should be able to sneak it. Fighting over the vision before Baron. Trying to look for a pick here for Cloud9. They definitely have the proto belts ready, but they don't have flashes on their main engagements. Actually, they don't have flashes on anyone. So the picks are going to be a little bit difficult at this point. They might just wait out the flashes and starve out Nova a little bit longer.
Oh, they might try to catch Altec here. In fact, Cloud9 are going to quickly swing up towards that top side of the map, trying to chunk down this turret before the minion wave gets cleared. Get a few good hits.
It's up the shield. Luckily for Nova, they both have good wave clear and wave defense. Braum can try and block for the Nova wave while Blaze Olive destroys Cloud9's. Uh-oh. What about the big chicken, though? Contracts. Smite's true.
Yep. He's up to 11 CS ahead of Ku right now. Solo laners during that exchange were splitting on opposite sides of the map, so able to get a little bit of CS for each other. Seeker's now being finished up for balls, so he looks for that Zhonya's. And with the collapse of Cloud9, they're going to be able to pick up this Mountain Drake for themselves.
Yeah, just continue to take all the resources off the map here for Cloud9. This is also going to make their Baron bait a lot more threatening. They can destroy Baron extremely quickly with their comp. Plus, they've already got all the pink wards set up in the trail over to Baron. They just need to go clear out that ward. And then as the flashes we were talking about come back up pretty soon there for Contracts, Balls, and High, they can Sivir speed boost, catch people down. You know, you get really two great choices here. Either you get the Baron for free, or Nova come and they try and contest it, and you Sivir speed boost, flash on them, and get the picks.
With those choices, it's
rough going for Nova.
Yeah, Cloud9 just get to sit and wait for the opportunity to look for those picks and wait for those cooldowns to return. Nova trying to wait it out. 25 minutes in, down 9 kills, down nearly 8,500 gold.
Yeah.
This is a team that originally came into the Challenger Series and succeeded by team fighting.
I like where their heads are at, though. You can see so usually people are like, okay, you don't want to upgrade your Sightstone to Ruby until much later in the game. You know, it's absolutely necessary. But their way back in this game has to come from a vision play. It has to come from Cloud9 being out of position and Nova jumping on people who are outnumbered because they are behind like this. So they need the vision to set up one of those plays. And he's upgrading that before trying to build the locket and complete that actual teamfight power, just because they know they need to make some sort of surprise play where they have a champion advantage rather than a small incremental item advantage, which you're going to get outstatted by this Cloud9 team no matter what items you try and build.
That's what we just saw them try to do. FLICKR was able to sneak up into that top bush by the tier 2 turret, and it seemed like Nova were trying to feign a fight. Hey, look at us. We're split. We're 4v4 against all of your AoE. Come kill us. But with FLICKR waiting, that would have been a 5v4 and could have been a little bit different. However, Cloud9 waited out. Don't know if they had vision of FLICKR or not. I don't think so, but they have enough patience to look for the better opportunity.
Fighting that good fight over the Baron wards, and the Scuttle Crab is going to do a lot to give them peace of mind for the next few minutes. Contracts, though. He's been in this quadrant of the jungle probably more than he's been in Cloud9's side of the jungle. Hi, actually, on another one-man mission here. Going to do a bit of zoning for the squad.
Yeah, dodges a bit of the damage from Rikara. For those astute viewers, you will actually notice that Ken is currently playing for Nova, not Trance.
Oh, yeah.
Ken previously of Team Impulse, but Cloud9, they say now is not a time to talk about that. Now is the time for killing.
Is it, though? We get strips of ice and fire there down the mid lane.
You should write a song about it.
It's a time for killing, but unlucky there. Braum disengage right over the Rumble. Ult means that Nova get to live another day, and that is all that they're really looking for at this moment. That and to try and turn around a Cloud9 dive.
Well, they've got their work cut out for them. Cloud9 now dive the turret, and this is going to be a tough one to turn around. Ken hops out the back.
Can they get contracts, though?
The slicing Maelstrom. They will be able to get the kill onto Contracts, who gets CC locked, and the tier 2 turret is still standing.
Step 1 complete. They turned it around. Deep dive from Cloud9. They actually didn't get the turret finished off either. So that is a decent amount of at least respite here for Nova as they get some time.
Whoa.
Who, though? He might be out of time.
Surprise! High sneaks around the wall. Let's see. Bubble is going to land. He doesn't have the ultimate. They're trying to CC chain it out. That is a tanky Olaf. Ignite is being used.
Baby.
Ken goes for the save, but now they turn on to Ken. Oh, regret. Oh, Ku, you could have gotten away, but he takes a hit.
The bait.
High and
It was
goes
all
down.
a ruse.
An elaborate ruse. Whoa, FLICKR is going to chase up. Oh, the auto attack around the edge of the shield. Cloud9, what are you doing? They're turning this fight kill after kill.
All right, I guess mid is open. Right down the mid lane there. Take out the secondary turret. Hey, maybe they've made the choice to go over for Baron here. Contracts heading over that way. They can take it down. Only person who can steal it, Ezreal, Rikara. This is your time to shine. Hero play.
Yep. I believe in it, Rikara. Doesn't have the true shot barrage.
Nah, he's not even going over there. No hero.
Not the hero play.
He is not a hero. It honestly would be suicide to try and go over there, but that's the type of stuff you like to see, Dom. You like to see heart.
It's about
not so much brain, more heart than brain.
It's about the spirit of the play. Oh, he's just outside of vision. Oh, surprise!
Yeah. This actually turned into a bit of a hilarious run down mid lane as we jog back and forth. Chasing Ku the entire time. Ghost fights Exhaust. Ken jumps in for the save. He blocks half of the damage here. Then they make the turn as FLICKR comes around and he tries to jump to a minion here. There it is. Jumps to the minion. And he's going to be able to dodge over to High. Finish him off. Cost him his life, though, in the end. As Altec sneaks that shot, kind of curved bullet there, wanted style, around the shield.
That's how boomerangs are supposed to work. Able
true
to
enough.
finally get the
He's got the wrong.
proper use
got
of
the
it.
wrong skin on there though. What's the silver skin that actually has a
Huntress.
boomerang? Yeah, there you go.
Huntress Sivir.
skin.
Oh, did he get it? The red buff is burning away on that.
Live, Scuttle, live! It gets to walk away. The Scuttle prevails. Look, he's not dead.
Yeah, it's still on the map.
Thick.
Okay, 30 minutes in, Cloud9 have got an enormous advantage. 11,000 gold, 11 kills.
And most of that is on Altec. It's where they want it to be. The Sivir here, fully upgraded Sivir build. Got the 3 items that you want. All of them working in unison. Crit damage, boosted by Infinity Edge, boost your cooldown reduction, and there they
Pick up mid
go!
lane, they're going to pick up 1 kill. Altec godlike. 7 kills without dying. Flaxish tries to dive onto him, but is slain by Contracts. Yet another for Cloud9 Challenger as they drop the inhibitor turret. It's still 5 versus 3. They've got Baron buff. They could look to end the game.
Well, they're definitely going to look to take out another inhibitor here. 20 seconds on Ken, 30 seconds on Flaxish. 2 inhibitors down might be all they can get away with.
Oh, Balls takes a little bit more damage. But finally, they take the 2 inhibs and back away. And Cloud9 have blown this game wide open.
Better get that Cloud Drake, boys. Don't want Nova turning it around with that move speed.
Isn't this one of those Drakes that you would rather leave to deny the eventual spawning of the elf?
No, because Cloud9 have full control of the map.
Okay.
So everything on the map should be Cloud9's. Don't need to deny anything.
It's not about denial anymore. It's about taking what is rightfully yours.
You can't have the denial mindset. You gotta have the conqueror's mindset. Contracts definitely does. 1 versus 2 clears the ward.
In the Scuttle. This is my ward.
He won't let it get away like Altec did. Altec, the benevolent Sivir. He's just a turtle lover, just like Wild Turtle.
Yep.
Let it live. Here we go. Another look at the engage. So there's that Sivir speed boost, plus the all-in from high on Kennen. Sivir speed boost, plus flash, plus proto belt, plus lightning rush. Very strong engage, especially when you're ahead.
Yeah. And now Cloud9 continue to press forward. 2 members
Here we go, though.
split. They collapse on the high
got
and they're
him.
able to kill him. Contracts now is going to retreat. It's 5 versus 4. 50 seconds before High gets back up. But Cloud9 are still trying to bring down this turret, getting some good damage with Altec. Equalizer does great damage to Nova. They turn it back around. Balls is going to drop 3 versus 5, but they're
Altec,
able
though.
to pick up all of these kills. Contracts gets another slow. Altec, oh my god!
The
Ah,
last one.
can't quite get the last one, but the inhibitor will fall down, and Cloud9, 3 versus 1 with super minions, will look to close out game number 1 against Nova. Yeah, this is the Cloud9 that we expected to see. This is the Cloud9 that everyone was afraid of, the nightmare of, oh, Cloud9 are sending 3 very legacy talented players down to the challenger scene, and now we've seen what that can do.
Yeah.
4, excuse me.
I'm afraid. I'm afraid of mid lane Kennen now.
Yeah.
High, really strong on that champion. Even though he had a lot of deaths, most of those deaths were him just feeling so confident in his engages and knowing that his team was going to pick up a couple of objectives on the back of it, even though he's trading his life sometimes in 1 versus 1 and 1-4-1 scenarios. They still gain so much map control out of it, and they gain a lot of presence on the map from it. Have to say, though, Altec probably the star this time around on the cleanup Sivir. Most of the kills were a lot of ricochets. He had that nice boomerang on the shield.
Curving it around.
Also, some good answer ultimates there from Balls on the Rumble. He's able to collapse a lot quickly.
Yeah, we were looking for those big equalizers, and he landed quite a few of them over the course of those fights. Lemon was able to stack up some slows. We've actually got a replay of that 12-minute Cloud9 fight that ended up being a 5-for-1.
Yeah, this is one of the things that just broke the game open, and that was Ku very deep in enemy territory, and Cloud9 had full vision of them. The collapse from high. Also, Balls is walking up this entire time. If you look at the mini-map, Rumble's been trucking it all the way up there through the river the entire time, and even though Flaxish teleports in, Balls arrives eventually, and that's what matters. Able to lay down the Rumble ultimate. Contracts follows up with the flash, and that's where they get the entire ace, as Balls also flashes forward there. And that's really where they turned it around. They got so much money off of that. It was not a clean ace, but a full ace.
Yeah.
I think they only gave up one. Yeah.
13 minutes in. It was super early for Cloud9. And the fact that they were able to continue sort of their advantage, a problem that we see time and time again with these challenger teams is they'll get an advantage and then they'll sit on it for 30 minutes, not knowing how to expand it.
See, High won't sit on it. High's going to run at your face with it.
Exactly. He's going to beat you in the head with that 5,000 gold lead until he gets an inhibitor. So Cloud9, definitely a team that knows what to do when they've got an advantage. And Nova, we've got to start looking for that next game. That was a pretty sound beating in game number 1. How can they possibly change it up in game 2?
Yeah, I mean, they get another chance at it. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that because of the standings, even if Nova split this one, Cloud9 get to be number 1 seed, right?
You are
Heading into
correct.
playoffs?
Yes.
Okay. So with that win, they secure their number 1 seed. You know, I'm excited to see what they pull out in game number 2 in that case.
They have the freedom. In fact, though, there is a chance where we could have a tiebreaker. So Team Liquid Academy currently at 6 points in the standings. Cloud9 with that win is at 9 points in the standings. And Team Liquid Academy and Cloud9 split. So could have an opportunity to get a tiebreaker if Cloud9 give up this next game. But they've taken number 1 with the lead in this series. We'll see if Nova can bounce back in game 2. Now, a little bit later, though, we're going to check in with Freak, who stopped by the studio to take a nostalgic look back at the Challenger Summer Split. Don't touch that browser. The action continues in just a few. Not sure if worth. There's the equalizer, finding 3. Flash knock-up and a Blaze Olive go down. Cloud9 just aced Nova. Whoa, Flaxish is going to chase up. Oh, the auto attack around the edge of the shield. Cloud9, what are you doing? They're turning this fight kill after kill. Equalizer does great damage to Nova. They turn it back around. Balls is going to drop 3 versus 5, but they're able to pick up all of these kills. Contract gets another slow.